this video, we are going to look into the fundamental data type. So we're going to touch on this. Alright, so we'll start with the fundamental of data types. As you know that we will be talking about variables and data type. So in C++, actually we must store the data in a variable. So variable is a name that that you choose to represent the space in your computer. So I just want to give an example here. Integer x, yeah. So x is the name of the variable. We call it x, and you can put it any names. Let's say value, yeah. So this is the name of the variables, and this is the data type. So you can assign value to the variable. So if you declare like this, so actually you are declaring that the name of the variable, you are actually allocating a space in your memory, and you call it as value as a reference, yeah, value, and you can only put the integer value into that variable, and the value is 3. So imagine that you have a space, your memory, then you call that memory as value, and you can only store integer numbers. So in this case it is going to be 3. So if you display or print out the value, right, so it should be displaying number 3. Yeah, that's number 3. So I will it's gonna be easier for you to see it. All right, that's gonna be number 3. So you must remember, we must have the data type, and then you declare the variable. All right, so the data type can be integer. You can check it later. Can be float. Float is a real number. It could be double, and it could be a character, A, B, C, D, a character, and so on. All right. So, for instance, if you want to declare a variable, let's say and then A, yeah. So you are declaring a variable called letter, and it is a type of character, and then you put that value, which is A. So if, let's say, we want to display that letter, then we run this. It will display an A. Okay, so you can have a float as well. Let's say this is how the way you write it. So you have to write the type of data and followed by the variables. Let's say average. It's not necessarily for you to assign the value, that you can just declare the variable, and later on that you probably can use this, all right, to assign the value later on. So not necessarily for you to assign the initial value, okay, and so on. So all right, there's rules that you need to follow, in order for you to write the good variables names. Like this one, value is a good one because you understand that it's a value, right? So sometimes you can use also like integer x, but sometimes you don't know what is this x representing. So the best is actually for you to use the name of the variable itself, like if it is a string or something like average, and then you can put it average rather than just z. Yeah, so it is better for you to put that the name better. Yeah, it is easier for you to understand for your reference later on. All right, these are the rules. All right, so you must start with a letter or underscore. You can put underscore here. You put the underscore. This one is okay. Yeah, you ignore this because in this example we haven't used this. We should be, this is just a warning that we declare a variable, but we never use that. Okay, and then you cannot start with symbols. You cannot start with symbols, right? The underscore is fine, but you cannot start with and, for instance. Yeah, and then if I compile this, declaration of reference variable average requires an initializer. So in fact this is actually not the error, because of you cannot use like the sign. Yeah, so we have an error for that. So you cannot start with symbols. Yeah, and then it is also case sensitive, so meaning to say that if you declare this one as x and then you declare another one is x, this is allowed because this x is different than this x. Yeah, all right, so let's say 2 and this one is 4, so x, this one is capital X, compile that, it's 2 and 4, 2 and 4, because small letter and capital letter are two different variables. So the variables is case sensitive, so the capital letter and small letter are two different variables. Okay, you cannot use reserved words. Reserved word like this when you write in your compiler, if you change the color, so it's normally indicating that it is a reserved word. Like you cannot integer float is equal to 4. Yeah, you cannot use float as the name of the variable to declare as integer, because float is a reserved number, is a reserved word. You cannot do this. All right, so let's continue. You can also assign the value. Yeah, the one that I mentioned to you just now, that you can assign the value. And in fact, if this is the value, then you can have value is equal to value, let's say plus 4. Yeah. If we declare this value, all right, so this value, this is we're going to touch on this later on. Value is equal to 3. Yeah, this one is 3. So this one, so the value is equal to 3 in the first place, but the 3 you add with 4 will be equal to 7. So this 7 will be assigned to the value. So the current value for this value is 7. So when we run this, it will display 7 and 2. Oh, sorry, 7 and 4. Yeah, 7 and this is the capital X, 4. So what I want to show you here is this one, because the value is equal to 3, but it is now being replaced with this value plus 4, which is 3 plus 4 equal to 7. We will assign to value, and then the previous value 3 will be overwritten. Yeah, so the current value is equal to 7. All right. In a variable, you probably can you can also use constant. Yeah. Constant means if you set the variable as a constant, yeah, a certain value that cannot change, like pi value, yeah, is equal to 3.114. You cannot, because it's a fixed number. So if the variable is if the variable is is a constant number, you cannot, something that you cannot change, like pi value just now, yeah, pi value 3.14, sorry, 14. So when you put this as a constant, so pi, the value for pi cannot be changed, so that it will avoid for you to accidentally change the value, right? So by doing this, it will preserve the numbers, so that you cannot change, you won't be able to change the value. Yeah. So if let's say this is, I put the value just now, so use of undeclared identified, cannot assign to variable value with constant qualified type, right? So you cannot change the value of this. Yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. What's next? This is the value. The value should be 3 point. Oh yeah, because this is integer, that's why I cannot display 3.14, because you make this value as integer, even though that this is a real number, so it will only display this 3, because integer is an integer. Floating and double, yeah, and double, these are all real number, right? So if you put this as let's say floating point, so this value will display, it's not 3 but it's 3.14. right, 3.14, because we changed this variable into the new data type, which is a floating number. All right, so we continue with arithmetic operation. All right, in C++ or any other programming languages, this is so important as well, because sometimes you need to have mathematical operations, mathematical operations. So this is the simple arithmetic operations that you probably can combine later with any other symbols under CMATs. Yeah. For instance, minus, plus, multiplications, divisions, and also modulus. So you can add the number. Yeah. So integer x, let's say 3. Integer y is equal to 4. So you can have like integer z. Z is equal to it's at a 3 plus, sorry, x plus y. Yeah, so let's say you want to display this z. Yeah, all right. So what I'm going to show you here is, when you can do this arithmetic of the variables. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, and then this is for multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12, and division. So let's say if I put 10, what do you think the answer? So 10 divided by 4, it should be 2. Yeah, so it's supposed to be 2 point order remind. The reminder is actually 2. Yeah, but since you are declaring as an integer, so you can only get the first decimal number. Yeah, so 10 divided by 4, you'll get 2 point something, but it will only get it's 2, and then you can get that 2 point. All right. So what is the problem here? Yeah, because x and y, those are integer. Yeah. So in order for you to change this, you have to change this into floating point first. Yeah. So you can do that using static cast. Yeah. So static cast, this one, yeah, static cast, and then you put that sign. Alright, so you want to change that into float first. And then divide by you can have this right, you'll be getting 2.5. So this is actually to change these variable, right, into that data type just for that particular of time. You're not changing the whole. If you want to use this x and y below this, then you'll be getting the integer, not the float, because this is just to change the data type for that variable for that particular moment. Yeah. All right. So you also can use CMAT as a library. So sometimes you need to use more complex mathematical operations, not only this arithmetics. So or sometimes that, for instance, if you want to do square root, yeah, so you can create the formula, but the easiest way is to use whatever in the library. Yeah, you just simply use that. It is going to be easier for you. So for instance, we want to find a square root of this x. Yeah, what you can do is just to let's say you want to square root, and then you can put that x. You will see whether you can get that. Alright, I think I need to put this separate. You can put enter so that you can see the results. That is the square root of x. Yeah. Okay, now I want to show you the to get the input, how to get the input from your keyboard. Yeah, because in this case, for instance, x is that you can assign x is equal to 4. So in this case, you are assigning the value of 4 in your program. So how to assign a value from your keyboard, right? You can use cin. So you must remember that cout is actually to display to on your monitor. So cin is actually to get the input from your keyboard, right? So I just want to give example in x here, so I can remove this. All right. So you are entering number. Let's say I put the x here. Yeah. So in this case, that I want to display the number, and then I put the enter there. Okay, so I put 10. So you are entering number 10, right? So you can use cin to get the input from the keyboard, right? So beside this, integer, floating, what else? These are all the data, yeah, that you want to manipulate in your program, that need to be stored in a space in your computer, and then you refer that space that you allocate with a variable, yeah, and you name it. You name the variable, and then the type of data that you can put into that space is depending on the data type that you declare for that particular variable. So you can use string. String is like a word. Character is only for one character, A, B, C, D. Yeah, but the string is a series of characters, like your name. Yeah, ASRI, ASRI is more than 4 characters, so it is considered as a string. So in order for you to use that string, you can use the library. Yeah? Otherwise, you cannot use that string. In order for you to use the string, then you have to use, or you have to include the library. So these are actually to tell the system or the computer that please refer to this library. Otherwise, the computer will not be will not understand what is this the terms that you use, or understand your instruction, right? So for instance, you have a string which is name. So string can be more than one character, 3 for instance. Yeah. So enter a number. All right, I think I have to remove this one first, so that it's easier for you to understand. Let's say if I display that name, yeah, I run that program, so it will display a string. So you can use that string, and then you can manipulate this string. You can find, you can Google and see how you can manipulate the string. For instance, if you have more than one string and then you want to combine it together, this is my second name, maybe it's Ibrahim, and then you can combine those two. All right. Okay, I'm going to put that semicolon. Okay, so we can combine that, it will become Asri Ibrahim, right? So you probably can assign that, let's say, string is equal to combine is equal to name plus name 2, yeah, and then you can put this combine. All right, so meaning to say that this combine is actually holding the value of Asri Ibrahim, yeah, but this name will be holding this Asri, name 2 is Ibrahim. So in your memory you have 3 spaces holding Asri, Ibrahim, and the combination of both, which is under combine. So imagine that you just want to display Asri, yeah, from this combine. Or okay, let's say Asri Ibrahim for name, yeah, let's say you combine that. And how to display or extract ASRI from this name, yeah. And in order for you to that, you can use the function substring, yeah. So for instance, you have string, and then let's say first name, yeah, first, no, name 1, yeah. So name 1 is equal to you can use the function substring, but you need to use this node. We're going to use this later on, yeah. I will explain to you maybe in different class, but in this case you use this string, yeah, then you want to find just the substring starting from position 0 until this is position 0, so 0, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 1, 2, 3. All right, so if I run this, all right, it will display ESR, okay, 0, okay, only 3, ESR 3, yeah, because we start from 0 and then just for 3 characters, so this is supposed to be 4, yeah. So we start from 0 and then we want to get the 4 characters. So if you run this, then you should be getting 3. All right, so how to get Ibrahim? All right, you must remember that the first position is 0, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to start at 4. Then you want to get how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. So if you run that, you'll get Ibrahim. Yes, that's it. Okay, so all right, I think that's it for this class. So I just hope that you can explore more, and you know, if you have any questions, you can give your comments, and I can answer maybe in the next video. Yeah. All right. I hope that you can get something from this video. All right. Bye.